crafty monsters, how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to be making these adorable color changing cards, and I'm going to show you how we're going to be making this little bad boy with no kind of dies or no special tools are needed to make these little bad boys. And the best part about that is that you don't only have to make them on cards. You can make them on so many different projects. You could put them on your swapping stuff. You could put them on, like, there's just so many things that you could do with this. And when I show you guys how to do this and how easy it was to make this little bad boy, you're going to be like, wow, why didn't I think of this, right? Because that's the same thing I thought about it when I saw it on Pinterest and all these other little websites that I've seen these on. I was like, that is so simple. And, you know, here I was going to buy some dies that did this. I'm like, I don't need those dies because I could do this myself, boo-boo. I could do this. So, another thing, boo-boo, is that please ignore this old-fashioned gold little brad, the ones we used to use in kindergarten, because originally when I was gonna make, well, I did do this tutorial. What do you mean when I was going to? Oh my god, Jesse, you don't even know how to talk. Anyway, when I was planning this tutorial, I said to my little self, I said, self, you needs to go to Michael's in the Hobby Lobbies, and you need to go find some brads that are either like a little star shape or something that had to do with like the whole galaxy stuff, right? And so when I went to these fabulous stores, I completely forgot to pick up the brads. I got everything else, guys. I got everything else, but I forgot to pick up the brads. So we use this little old-fashioned gold one. So go ahead and excuse that. When you guys do your project, make sure that you get a cute decorative brad, because there's so many different brads out there, so many shapes and sizes and stuff. I mean, there's just so many fun things that you could do with those, and it just gives that little extra detail to the little brads. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about before we get into this fabulous tutorial was acetate. So acetate was used in the back of these cards, as you can see the shiny part, okay? And this is what we use to stamp the actual stamp on, so that you're going to get that little effect, you know, that we're getting with the stamps. So here's the thing. Now, you can order the acetate online, which is what I've done in the past, and I've ordered a big quantity, so I have a lot of acetate to last me maybe a whole lifetime. I'll be making shaker cards and all kinds of cards. Anyway. So, if you can't order it online, you could definitely use some alternatives that I have used in many of my projects. You guys have seen them in a lot of my tutorials, and that is this graphic paper. It's a computer paper, and it's actually printable. This little bad boy I purchased at the Hobby Lobbies, and at the Hobby Lobbies they have it for $7.99, and you get 6 sheets. These are 8.5 by 11 sheets. Again, the price is because you're also able to print on these. You could print these. Boom, boom. I mean, these are fabulous. But another thing that you can use them for is you could just use them for that clear plastic window. You know, this is something that you could just run to your Hobby Lobbies and get, and you don't have to wait for your shipment to come in. Now, if you do not find these at your Hobby Lobbies, you definitely could go to the same stores, the Hobby Lobbies, or to Michael's and purchase these little shrink-a-dinks. Now, this is the crystal clear shrink-a-dink, and I have used this in a lot of projects. This comes with 10 clear sheets, and I believe this is about $5.99, and so on both of these items you could definitely use your 40% off coupon, and sometimes they have a 20% off your entire purchase, so definitely take advantage of that. But you could find these little bad boys in the stamping section. If you guys have never heard of shrink-a-dinks, get in the mood. What are you talking about? Scratch that. Get into it, boo-boo, because you can make so many little cute jewelries. You can do so many things. We're not going to get into the shrink-a-dink on this one. But anyway, you could definitely use this crystal clear. The reason why I like using this is because it's a lot thicker. So if you want kind of like a thicker, clear plastic, definitely go with the shrink-a-dink. But if you want a regular, you know, thin acetate, you can definitely go with this little bad boy. So both of these items, you can find them on your fabulous stores that you definitely probably have close by. And if you don't have any of these stores nearby, then you definitely will have to order it online. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know what else is a clear plastic that you could purchase out there other than these two items. Sometimes some stores do have like acetate and stuff like that. I know that there's a Cali Paper close by here. I don't know if you guys have a Cali Paper, but a Cali Paper is a store that just deals with nothing but papers, and so they also sell acetate there. But anyway, without wasting any more time, guys, because I know you guys want to get down and dirty with the crafting, let's get down and dirty, and I will see you guys in a bit. Hola, hola, my little crafty monsters. So in this little tutorial, we are going to be making this color changing wheel card. And we're gonna go ahead and start with our card base, and we're gonna cut down a card mat. Now, if you want measurements, there is going to be a link at the bottom for card mats and card bases. And so on the card mat, we're just going to go ahead and cut that a little bit thinner than we normally would, because we're going to want that circle to peep out in the edge. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is the acetate that we're going to be using, as I explained earlier. So you're going to go ahead and need two pieces, and we are going to go ahead. There we go. We're going to start. We're going to go ahead and cut that down to 2x2s. Those are going to be the little squares that you will be stamping your little stamps on, and that's going to be the window for the little color changing wheel. Then just use your Stamp Perfect, and you want to go ahead and do this because we will be using a Stays On ink. The Stays On ink is the one that I would prefer to use because it will stick onto any kind of surface and it won't come off. This is the only ink that I really think is out there that will do this. And like I said, you want your Stamp Perfect, so in case it doesn't come out right the first time, you could go ahead and stamp this again. If you do not have one of these and you're just going to do regular stamping, I would advise you use a some sort of like a foam or something in the bottom, like one of these foam sheets, and use that so that you'll get a perfect stamp the very first time. And so, like I said, this is all we're going to do right here. We're going to go ahead and just stamp these little bad boys twice to make sure that I get a crisp, dark line. And then, like I said, this part is kind of easy. There is a lot of inks that won't stick onto the acetate, so you definitely want to use Stays On for that. Just a little FYI. So now we're going to grab our little VersaFine ink, because we're going to use some watercolors. And then we're just going to go ahead and stamp our little astronaut. We're just going to use one little guy here. Now in the original video, you guys are not going to see me stamp a little rocket. But at the end, I felt that the card needed a little bit something else. And so I end up stamping a little rocket. You guys will see in the end result. But right here, we're just going to go ahead and use a skin color tone. This is the Flesh color by the Portrait palette from the Dual Brush Tombow markers. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Saddle Brown to do his little hair. I'm not really going to get too much into details. I'm just going to color him straight, like a straight color. I'm not going to blend or anything because we just want to make this little card into a quick little cute card. So I'm just going to use some bright colors for the buttons because you want the buttons to stand out. And then the rest of his little uniform, I'm going to use like grays and like this one marker that's kind of like a light bluish gray. And we're going to go ahead and color the whole entire astronaut outfit with these colors. So they're just going to be gray tone, in other words, is basically what I'm saying.
And like I did mention earlier, if you don't have these little stamp sets, you could definitely use any stamp set that you have that has a coordinating die. And the reason why you want a coordinating die is because you want to be able to stamp your stamp on an acetate piece, and then you want the coordinating die to actually make the cut to make the window into whatever project you're doing. So now just get your Sizzix and run it through the Sizzix machine with the coordinating die to cut out this little astronaut. And then once you have this little bad boy out and ready, just go ahead and cut out anything else that you need. And right here we're using a scallop circle from our nesting Sizzix scallop circles. And these I purchased them at Michael's. And I'm using one of the scallop circles that I know is going to fit into my card. And that's what I cut out. But now we're going to go ahead and get our distress ink, and we're going to try to make a sky. Now, I'm not really getting too crazy as far as making it look like outer space, but I just want it to look like a little sky, and I am going to darken some of the areas. But for the most part, like I said, I'm not trying too hard to make it look like outer space because of the simple fact that I can't really see colors, and so it's going to be hard for me to blend those skies. But right here, I'm just using blues, and I'm using a little bit of a violet color, and then I'm going to use some black so to darken the whole entire thing. And the reason why I'm using these colors is because I've seen other crafters and YouTubers use these 4 colors to create a dark sky. Which is all we're going to do. And then we will be using some water to activate these distress inks, because these distress inks are fabulous when it comes to making that that texture design you guys will see right now. And if you guys have any of these distress inks, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So right here I'm just going to go ahead and darken the edges. And I feel that that's enough. Now we're going to go ahead and spray this little bad boy with some water. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting some color onto this little bad boy. So we're drying out our paper, and this is what the end result. How cute is this? So I'm just going to go ahead and put some ink pads on top so that it doesn't warp, because, you know, it's a little bit moist. And so right here I'm just going to add color to the little color wheel. And I'm not really going to be too specific. I just want color to be on this. I don't want any white showing. And I will use kind of like blending colors, like the reds with the, you know, next to the pinks and all that stuff. Or so I think I'm doing. It's all a surprise. And so, like I said, there really isn't a uniform to this. I'm just adding color, however, and I'm not really getting too crazy. So, yes. Now that we have color on these little bad boys, then we can go ahead and stamp the sentiment on these little bad guys. But we're going to go ahead and poke the hole where our brad is going to go into on the first mat and the little circle. So right here, I'm just trying to see where the middle of the circle is, and I'm going to use my piercing tool. I'm going to use this square right here to kind of line up the very middle of this circle. And then I'm going to line it up on how far I want it to peep out, so you could turn the circle. And then this is where I'm going to poke a hole. Now I don't have a hole puncher that will go ahead and, you know, hole punch that far into a piece of paper, but there is no need for a hole puncher. You could just do it with your piercing tool. So now I'm going to just go ahead and figure out where I'm going to put the little coordinating dies to cut out the window part. This is going to be the part where we're going to stamp the acetate and place it in back of this window so that it's visible, and then you could see the color wheel in the background, and when you turn it you're going to be able to see the planets change colors. It's so awesome. There's so many projects that you could do with this. So now we're going to use our static tool, and then we're going to emboss some little black galaxy embossing powder. And this is a very old embossing powder. And when I'm saying old, I mean, I'm talking about old, guys, like old, more than 15 years old. I used this embossing powder for my daughter's, I believe it was her 6th birthday. And well, you guys know my daughter's older now, so we're not going to get too detailed into ages and stuff now. But anyway, so this embossing powder was old. Once you get that done, then go ahead and put some double-sided tape on your little acetate pieces, and we're going to go ahead and attach those on in back of these open windows. But you want to make sure that you line up everything correctly so that you have, you have that look that you're going for. So right here, just go ahead and line them up. Now, these acetate pieces might cover up your little piercing hole again, so just get your piercing tool and remake that little hole. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the brad in and put my little changing color wheel. And then this way I'll be able to figure out where I want these dimensions to be. And I want to put this card mat on dimensions because we want enough room for that wheel to turn. We don't want, it to be too stuck onto our card base and it's not going to really turn. And then you want to make sure that you don't put your foam, your sticky foams in an area where it's going to disturb that wheel from turning. So make sure that that does not happen. Then go ahead and set him up on your card base. And that's basically all we're doing. How easy was this little bad boy? So then all we're going to do now is stick on our little astronaut guy. And honestly, this is the part where I thought I was done. But if you notice to the top left corner, there's that space, and I really felt that I needed something there. And later on, you're going to see that we will be adding a little rocket to that. But for the most part, this little card is done. How cute is this?
Welcome back, my little crafty monsters. That's how easy it was to make these little bad boys right here. This was super easy, guys. I mean, come on. You're not going to say that it wasn't because y'all know it was. This was super easy to make, and you can make these in so many different little cute projects. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of stamps and a lot of coordinating dies that you could definitely do this with. It doesn't necessarily have to be this little astronaut one. However, that's what we chose today. I thought this was cute. I wanted to make like a little boy's birthday card, so I thought this little planet one was perfect by my favorite things because these are my favorite stamps. And I hope that really helped you out on finding acetate as well, guys, because like I said, it's really out there. It's just really knowing what you're looking for. Sometimes when you go up to these stores and the employees and you ask them what acetate is, you'd be surprised that a lot of people don't know what acetate is, like seriously. And then I have to go and explain to them, it's like a clear plastic sheet, almost like paper, but it's clear plastic sheet. And how do you explain that? But it's clear plastic and it's a sheet. It's hard. Trust me, I've had those conversations before. And then I started learning and I started finding these other items, and that's how I'm able to do projects that require these kind of materials, and you have them offhand. But anyway, before I forget to tell you guys, this right here, in case your Hobby Lobby associate cannot help you find this, because they're probably not going to help you find it because they don't even know where it is. Trust me, I found it. I found it, boo-boo, myself. So, and then also too, when I found this, I kept looking. I go to a lot of different Hobby Lobbies, and I go to a lot of different Michaels. I'm serious. I go to these stores in so many different areas, and I go to them because every store has something different, and you all know that already. So I do this for that reason. But what I did notice is that every time I look in the same spot, I always find these. So if you want to find these right here, boo-boo, go into the DSP paper pack section where all of those packs are for the scrapbooking. And you're going to look on the very top, and on the very top, there are going to be, and let me show you. When this little person, one of my little subscribers, sees this paper pack, they're going to know it's for them. Totally going to know it's for them. But anyway, so when you go and you're looking at all of these paper packs and you look up to the top, you're going to see a lot of little single paper packs like this. This is a beach one. So you're going to see a bunch of these little paper packs. They're all like that. In the very, very front, these guys are going to be there. Why are they in between all these paper packs? I have no idea. I really don't. But I can tell you this. Every Hobby Lobbies that I have been to, the Hobby Lobbies, they've had these in the same spot. So look for these paper packs. Go to the very, very front and you will find these little suckers right there. Okay? I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button because you guys definitely need to like this video. Please. And also, don't forget to hit that little bell. Ring my bell, boo-boo. And tell a friend because your friends also need to know how fabulous these tutorials are. And that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Until next time, goodbye.